Hello friends, today we will start with another type of system of our body that is related to heart. So in this we will cover what is heart, what are the main functions of the heart, what are the main parts of heart, and then we will see what are the different signals associated with heart, and in that we will cover electrical activity of the heart. So let's begin with the description of heart. This you can see a journal block diagram, or you can say journal figure representing the heart. So heart is a muscular organ that acts like a pump to send blood throughout our body all the time. Heart consists of 4 chambers. So in that we have, you can see in the diagram, we have 2 upper chambers and we have 2 lower chambers. The 2 upper chambers includes right atrium and left atrium. And if we talk about right atrium, it receives deoxygenated blood from the body through the superior vena cava, that is we can say head and upper body, which involves head and upper body, and inferior vena cava that involves legs and lower torso. And if we talk about left atrium, it receives oxygenated blood. So right atrium was, it received deoxygenated blood, and if we talk about left atrium, it receives oxygenated blood from the lungs through the pulmonary veins. These are the pulmonary veins. So left atrium receives oxygenated blood from the lungs through these pulmonary veins. Now the 2 lower chambers. So 2 lower chambers include right ventricle and left ventricle. So if I talk about right ventricle, it receives again deoxygenated blood as the right atrium contracts. So when atrium, or we can say in plural atria. So whenever atria contracts, the blood moves to ventricles. So when right atrium contracts, right ventricle receives deoxygenated blood, and when left atrium contracts, the left ventricle receives oxygenated blood. So these are the 2 lower chambers of the heart. So this was the 4 chambers of the heart. Now the left atrium and left ventricle. So they are separated by a wall of muscle, you can see, that is septum. So this is septum, which is dividing the right atrium and the right ventricle, and also left atrium and the left ventricle. So this is a wall of, we can say, muscle, which is known as septum. Now let's discuss about the different walls of the heart. So walls are located within the chambers of the heart. What is the function of valves? They control the direction of blood flow in our heart. Our heart consists of 4 valves. So we have 4 valves. You can see 4 arrows in the figure, and they are the tricuspid valves. You can see. Then we have mitral valve, pulmonary valve, and the aortic valve. So these are the 4 valves. Now we will discuss one by one what is the function of each valve. So first we will discuss about the tricuspid valve. So tricuspid valve, if you see, this is a atrioventricular. Why we are calling as atrioventricular? Because it is in between atrium and ventricle. So it is an atrioventricular valve that is situated between the atrium and the ventricle. Mainly the right atrium and the right ventricle. So what is the function of this? It controls the opening between the right atrium and the right ventricle. You can see that blinking arrow. So it controls the opening between the right atrium and the right ventricle. Now next we have the mitral valve. So you can see in the figure the mitral valve. It is also an atrioventricular valve. As you can see, it is in between again atrium and ventricle. So it is again an atrioventricular valve that is situated between the atrium and the ventricle. Left atrium and left ventricle. Again, it controls the blood flow between the left atrium and the left ventricle. Right? So that was tricuspid valve and this is mitral valve. Now next is pulmonary valve. So it is a semilunar valve which is situated between the right ventricle and the pulmonary. This is right ventricle and pulmonary artery. So you can see it is situated between the right ventricle and the pulmonary artery. We have pulmonary valve. What it does? It controls the blood which is leaving the heart. It also prevents the blood flow back to the right ventricle when it relaxes. So after contraction, ventricles will relax, so that blood should not again come back to the ventricles. So that will be protected by the pulmonary valve. Similarly, we have last valve, that is aortic valve. This is also a semilunar valve which controls the blood leaving the heart, and it controls the blood flow between the left atrium and the aorta. So it is between left atrium and the aorta. Also, it prevents the blood flow back to the left ventricle when it relaxes. So that was right ventricle and this is for left ventricle. So this was the 4 different valves of the heart. Now let's discuss about the heart's electrical system. The heart's pumping action is regulated by an electrical conduction system that coordinates perfect blood circulation in the body. We have different parts which makes our heart's electrical system, and they include, we can say, first part is sinoatrial, or in general it is known as SA or sinus node. The electrical signal begins at this node, which is, again I am telling, SA node. This is also known as the heart's pacemaker, and it is a small mass of specialized tissue which is located, you can see in the diagram, at the top of the right atrium. So this is right atrium and it is located at the top of right atrium. It generates an electrical stimulus regularly, around 60 to 100 times per minute under the normal conditions. This electrical impulse causes the atria to contract and pushing blood down into the ventricle. So like this, if atria contracts, so that will push blood down into the ventricles. Now next is atrioventricular node, which is generally referred to as AV node. The electrical impulse travels to an area of cells at the bottom of right atrium, which is known as AV node. So SA node was at the top and AV node is at the bottom of the right atrium. It also acts as a gate to slow down the signal. Why? Because we don't want atria and ventricles to contract at the same time. So this will act as, we can say, a delay. It will cause a delay. So it will act as a gate to slow down the signal so that the atria and ventricles do not contract at the same time. Now these two upper chambers, we know that right atrium and left atrium, or in plural we can call them as atria, are stimulated first and contract for a short period of time before the two lower chambers, that is ventricles, contract. So first is contraction in atria, then we have blood is moving to ventricles and then ventricles will contract. Now next part of this is His-Purkinje system. You can see with red oval, so that is His-Purkinje system, and further it consists of, we'll see what is the main function of this His-Purkinje system. It carries the electrical signals from AV node throughout the ventricles to make them contract. Now what constitutes this His-Purkinje system? So it includes, we have His bundle, which is the start of this His-Purkinje system, and then we have right bundle branch and left bundle branch. So these are the main parts of His-Purkinje system. And then at last we have in this Purkinje fibers. Now His bundle, what is the function of this? His bundle, you can see also in this, it is dividing into right and left pathways which are called bundle branches. These are right and left bundle branches to stimulate the left and right ventricles. Now at the base of heart, you can see these bundles further divide into Purkinje fibers. So this is Purkinje fibers. They pass the signals to the heart muscle which cause the ventricles to contract. So this is how heart's electrical system work. And each contraction of these ventricles represents one heartbeat. Now let's discuss about the signal which is related to the electrical activity of the heart, that is electrocardiography. So electrocardiography is the word derived from electro. In Greek it means electricity, cardio which means heart, and graph that means to write. So electrocardiography, in further we can say it is the recording of electrical activity generated by the cells of the heart that reaches the body surface. Now we will discuss some terms which is related to the functioning of heart. So I'll just introduce some terms. So first is, you can see, that is automaticity. It is ability to initiate an impulse. Then we have excitability, which is ability to respond to a stimulus. Then we have conductivity, which is ability to transmit an impulse. And then we have contractility, which is ability to respond with pumping action. So these are the different terms which we will use. So you should know about these terms. Now let's see the basic dimensions of an ECG paper. Basically a graph kind of paper on which we are taking the ECG signal. So you can see in this, the X scale, it represents the time, that is mainly in millisecond, and amplitude as Y-axis, which is normally in millivolts. And if you see the large box, so that large box, basically it is of 5 mm cross 5 mm dimension, and it represents, if I talk in time, that represents 200 millisecond time and 0.5 millivolt amplitude. And if you see this one small box, it will represent 1 mm cross 1 mm dimension, and it is 40 millisecond time and it gives 0.1 millivolt amplitude. So this is on the paper or dimension of the paper on which we are taking the ECG signal. Now these are the representations of we can say different events or different parts. It is showing of a single cardiac cycle on an ECG paper. So we will discuss each part in detail. So this involves, like you can see, P wave, QRS complex, QT interval, PR interval, ST segment, T wave. So we will discuss all in detail. Now first is isoelectrical line. You can see this baseline is isoelectrical line. This represents the resting potential of the heart. So this is representing the resting potential of the heart, and any event of the cardiac cycle will be represented as deflection away from this line. So whatever deflection is there from this line, that means it corresponds to some E1 which is occurring in our heart. Now let's start with the different events and which corresponds to which particular part of the ECG signal, or we can say a single cardiac cycle. So that is electrical events which are associated with a single cardiac cycle. So as we have already seen that depolarization of SA node, so that is the beginning of that electrical event. So we can say the events of the cardiac cycle are initiated by, first step is depolarization of that sinoatrial, or we can say SA node. This is SA node, and the signal starts with depolarization of this SA node. You can see these red arrows. Basically, this is showing the depolarization of this SA node. And the cell is, we know that cell is usually negatively charged, and at some point it will become positively charged. This also we have studied in the chapter of neurons. So at the point it becomes positively charged, we call it as depolarization. So it is the point where the muscle cell can squeeze down, or we can say it contracts. So that is the beginning of P wave. Now some cells depolarize by themselves. So these cells are present at SA node, and we have already seen the property of getting depolarized by themselves is known as automaticity. So some cells we can say are present at this SA node which automatically get depolarized by themselves, and further they will make all the neighboring cells to depolarize, and that is atrial depolarization, which corresponds to P wave. So it makes other neighboring cells to depolarize, and the wave of electrical depolarization is conducted through the cardiac muscle of both the atria. So now it will reach to both the atria, and this is known as atrial depolarization, and we are calling it as P wave. This corresponds to P wave. Now this depolarizing wave causes contraction of the atria, and it will push blood into the ventricle. So when atria will contract, why they will contract? Because of depolarization, and on contraction what will happen? They will push blood into the ventricle. So that is atrial depolarization, or we can say that is corresponding to P wave. Now next is atrial ventricular node depolarization, and it shows basically the PR interval. This is AV node, that is SA node. So now what will happen? We have to show this. This is, if you see, this is PR interval in this figure. So the wave of depolarization, it reaches from SA node to the atrioventricular, that is SA node to AV node, through internodal pathways. These are different pathways they will make, and the depolarization will now reach from SA node to AV node. And then what happens? This AV node depolarizes and conducts. And as we have seen that this AV node will also act as a gate, that means it will cause a delay. It will create a delay between the atria and the ventricle. So now after SA node, this AV node will depolarize through these internodal pathways, and this makes that delay in between the contraction of atria and the ventricles. So both the atria and ventricles contract the same number of times. They will contract the same number of times, but not, we can say, at the same moment of time. There is a slight delay, and that is approximately 0.1 seconds. Now what will happen if both atria and ventricles contract simultaneously? Why we need that delay? Because if they contract simultaneously, what will happen? They may be passing the blood against each other. So this will not move the blood in right direction. So we should have some delay. So what will happen? First atria will contract at a particular time. Then by giving approximately 0.1 second delay, or sorry 0.1 millisecond delay, the ventricles will contract and the blood move onwards. So that is after 0.1 millisecond that ventricles will contract. Now next step is when AV node conducts. Now what happens after AV node? It will conduct that depolarization to the bundle of His. Now it will move to bundle of His, which is the beginning of His-Purkinje system, and that corresponds to QRS complex. You can see this QRS complex. So it moves quickly through the specialized conducting tissue, and it reaches the right and left bundle branch. Now at this point what will happen? The electrical signal can spread in all directions through Purkinje fiber. So that is, it will cause now the contraction of ventricles. So this coordinated and synchronized depolarization further produces the effective contraction of both the ventricles. Fine. So after this, now atria contraction occurs, then a ventricle contraction occurs. Now they have to come back to your resting potential. It has to come back to its original state. So that is repolarization, and first it corresponds to T wave. So after depolarization and the contraction, ventricles repolarize. That means it will again come towards the negative side of cell potential. So that ventricles repolarize and it will return to the resting potential. So it will return to the resting potential. So this was the complete cycle, you can see, or we can say the electrical events associated with the single cardiac cycle. Now let's have a look at the combined procedure. You just have a look to this signal. It is showing how that contraction and expansion release or release of the ventricles is occurring, and which contraction and release will produce, you can say, which kind of signal. So this completes one cycle. Again, you can see it is starting from SA node, then to AV node, then to his Purkinje system. This you can see his bundle, Purkinje fibers, then again contraction and release of ventricles. Further again it will start again from the contraction of atria. So like this process occurs. Again you can see once, then we'll move further. AV node to his bundle, Purkinje fibers, contraction of ventricles, relaxation, then further you can see now contraction of ventricles or atria again starts. So this is all in this lecture. Thank you.